In the most recent defamation lawsuit, Amber Heard may not be able to pay the judgment, but she has simply accumulated funds. The judge found in favor of Johnny Depp in both Amber Heard and Johnny Depp's defamation lawsuit, and the result was deemed to be of great importance. Currently, Heard owes Depp more than $8 million, and it is uncertain whether she has the financial resources to pay up. Even though the battle is still ongoing, the scenario is still as follows. On the other hand, it appears that Heard has just made a substantial amount of money by selling her home for more than $1 million. Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. Today we'll be looking at how Johnny lands a major Netflix movie deal. Yeah, you heard it right. So, let's start our video. Amber Heard, according to TMZ, was the previous owner of a property that was just sold for $1,050,000 in the hamlet of Yucca Valley in the Southern California region of California. Prior to 2019, there was considerable doubt as to who actually owned the land. In 2019, the property was acquired by a trust. However, TMZ was able to determine through the present proprietors that Heard had previously owned the business, despite the fact that they never dealt directly with the actress. In addition to releasing funds housed in the residence, Amber Heard realized a considerable profit by selling the property in 2019 for the initial purchase price of $570,000. Immediately after the verdict was rendered, it was fascinating to observe the property being auctioned. Amber Heard's ability to pay the judgment made against her has not yet been established. Therefore, this process may be an attempt to identify her financial resources. It's also possible this action was taken to free up trial-related money for a slightly different reason. Despite the fact that it did free up trial-related funds, Amber Heard has announced that she'll appeal the verdict, indicating that she'll likely be obliged to pay her attorneys during the appeal's processing. Even if Johnny Depp's award was reduced as a result of the appeal, the cost of pursuing the appeal would have been money well spent. Obviously, there is a third scenario, which is the sale of the house that has nothing to do with the dispute that is currently being fought. There's a chance that it will be substantial after all. Imagine that Amber Heard will be compelled to pay Johnny Depp a substantial amount of money. In such a circumstance, the money from the sale of the house she just closed on will undoubtedly be relevant to the judicial procedures. Even if the verdict forces Heard to file for bankruptcy, she will not be protected. Both parties were found to have made unreasonable demands to the other, but Depp was granted a significantly greater sum. Depp was initially awarded a total of $15 million in damages, but due to Virginia law, this figure was later lowered to just over $10 million. Heard received only $2 million in damages. Consequently, the remaining debt of around $8 million that Heard owes at this point remains unpaid. Due to the length of the time required to actually conduct the defamation trial, it is probable that the appeal will not be heard or decided for some further time. The most crucial financial issues will almost certainly have to be postponed until the appeal is heard. When this occurs, a range of extra questions may need to be addressed before proceeding. Amber Heard reportedly sold her California house in an effort to settle her debt with Johnny Depp. She reportedly got around $500,000 in profit from the sale. Zillow's property records indicate that the actor who plays Mera in Aquaman acquired the Yucca Valley home for $570,000 through an anonymous trust in 2019. The actress was able to make a substantial profit of $480,000 thanks to the Southern California property she sold for $1.05 million, which is 75% more than the price she paid for the home 3 years earlier. According to a TMZ article, the new owner of the residence has indicated that he has communicated with Heard's representatives but has never spoken with her directly. According to the sources, the actor is striving to make significant life adjustments and remove herself from the Hollywood area and the excessive media attention she receives. Heard has notified the court that she would appeal its decision in the explosive defamation lawsuit. In a Washington Post opinion piece, she was judged to have defamed her ex-husband. In contrast, one of Heard's 3 counterclaims was successful, and she was awarded $2 million in compensatory damages. In contrast, Depp was granted $10.35 million in damages. The 36-year-old actress expressed her displeasure on Instagram following the verdict. Today's disappointment is beyond description. I'm heartbroken that the pile of evidence was insufficient to combat my ex-husband's excessive power, influence, and persuasion. I'm even more disappointed by the implications of this judgment for other women. It's an obstacle. It turns the clock back to a time when a woman who spoke her mind was publicly embarrassed and humiliated. This undermines the notion that violence against women should be taken seriously, she continued. And that's all for today's video. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section down below.